Hello, Beepball world. It is us, the uninformed outsiders, putting on another clown show for you. We are back. Looking forward to it. Got big things going on. First, got to bring in my fellow clown co-host, man at the other end of my darkness. What up, Set Dog?
Oh, chilling, devil dog. What is this thing you guys call Beepball? I've never heard of it. You know, being an outsider and stuff like that.
You want those blind baseball players?
Yeah, I never, I'm an outsider, man. But no, I'm glad to be back, devil dog.
Please say it correctly. Uninformed outsider.
Yes, I'm sorry. Uninformed. I'm an uninformed outsider. Uninformed outsider. That's true. Yes. Underline that.
We do have a couple guests with us that we're going to be jumping into shortly here. Mr. Jacory Wiley is with us. Got his man Joe Fleeks with him. And we are going to be talking with them here shortly. But I do feel like we need to do like a brief recap. Yeah, even though this show from the beginning has always been posted in Beepball Nation, and that is where I believe probably 90% of the audience comes from. But now that it's on YouTube, and I post it on my own Facebook page and send it out on Twitter, and friends and people have been nice enough to share it here and there. Not all of the audience comes from Beepball Nation, so not all the audience knows that the show from last week got quite a big response in this group, Beepball Nation. It's a Facebook group. Had a huge...
It was slightly controversial, Neil Dog.
Slightly. I guess we'll say slightly. I didn't consider it overwhelmingly well received. The show, right. Although who knows? It was really just the people who were unhappy that mostly responded to it. So who knows about the others? But that is where the go ahead.
We would call it the silent majority, Neil Dog. We'd call it the silent majority.
But that is where the uninformed outsiders come from. We are called outsiders. We are called uninformed. The uninformed part's funny to me because the whole point of the show was that we were uninformed. And, the people who are involved said there's no need for us to be involved, be informed. But at the same time, we're being called uninformed. How dare us do it? How dare us do a show where we are so uninformed? Well, that was kind of the point.
We wanted to be informed. That was what we wanted.
Not even just us. We felt like everybody should have been better informed. And it was just our opinion. And what I said was my opinion. Every time I come out here and do this show, there's no point in me doing it if I'm not going to be honest about my opinion. I'm not going to come out here and pretend to be somebody I'm not or pretend to think something I don't think. So it's really that simple for me, Set Dog.
Right, no, that's important, man. I mean, in the end, right, if you don't give your own opinions, if you don't, have your own principles and put it into what you do, then it's just fluff and nonsense. So I'm sorry Beepball Nation or people in Beepball Nation had such a poor reaction to it. I guess on one level I do consider myself an outsider. I'm from California, right? California is not very represented at the Beepball table, so. But in
all fairness too, as far as that tournament goes, we were outsiders. I didn't consider myself an insider. I didn't turn the mic on coming at you. So one of the responses said something like, I think it's very irresponsible for a show that delivers news. Like, whoa, when did this show become CNN or Fox News or whatever our audience generally listens to? So I don't know. So
we're prime time Fox programming, man. We're all opinion. No, just joking. Obviously, we want to give some sort of information. So. But exactly. It's fine. Everybody's going to have their opinion, especially on an issue like this. It's dividing the nation anyway. And the nation as the big nation, not the little people nation. So I expected it, and it's
Right.
fine. And,
I did too.
You're right. And I think if either of us really worried about it too much, then
we wouldn't be here now.
Yeah, exactly.
Laughing about it.
Right. Yeah. So, but yes, an outsider. I'm from California. California.
Just some last show notes, leaving that behind, moving on. Just some more show notes about what's coming up going forward. I'm pretty excited about some of the things that
can I just say one more thing? Hold it, Neil Duck, can I just stop?
Yeah.
At least as the outsider thing, I would just like to point out, we were able to find out about what happened at the tournament through back channels. So we are not outsiders in any way, shape, or form. So there you go. We know enough people throughout the nation that we are insiders.
That was kind of like my point to the whole thing too, though. If you didn't have a connection to the Beepball Underground, you didn't know anything. So which I thought was silly, but again, just my opinion, people. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So going forward, a couple shows that are going to be coming up down the road here. I think they're going to one's going to be really powerful, much like the show we did with Ethan Johnston, because I think it's cool to do shows that are more about life. Show David Smith from the Jets is going to come back and help me with. We're going to do a show on trauma, and more specifically PTSD in the blind community. Once we do the show, that's planned for the end of September. Once we do the show, we'll dive more into explaining why, whatever. But I think it's going to be a very educational show. But on the flip end of that, we got us a fun show planned coming up for those of you that are fans of the show Jeopardy, like my man Seth Dog is. We are going to be playing Beep Baseball Jeopardy before too long. So we're going to need contestants. We're going to be looking for prizes. And we're going to get 2 or 3 people on here. What do you think? Like 3 guests would be good get three people on. We'll have some Beep Baseball related categories, and we will be playing Beep Baseball Jeopardy for prizes.
So test people's knowledge of the game. Test people's knowledge of the game.
All right, so let's dive into this week. Mentioned we got 2 people. We're on one device, so we're going to do it one at a time. I already mentioned we got both Jacory, Wiley, and Joe Fleeks, but we're going to start out introducing to you an author of a children's book, a public speaker, and one of the better young offensive players in our game. Although I say young, I don't even know how old you are, Jacory, but Mr. Jacory Wiley, welcome to the Beep Baseball Blues Show, my friend. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Well, I am well, Seth.
Inside joke. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's actually probably an inside joke that I got because I've been around Seth for 30 years, and I'm a pretty uneducated individual. So as soon as you corrected yourself, I'm like, hey, I've been through that with him.
I'm always a teacher. I'm always trying to help people.
First and foremost, Hansel. First and foremost.
Yeah, always trying to help people better themselves. But.
Right on.
So, Jacory, if you could, you're a member, you played for years with the Bayou City Heat. Now you're a member of the Indy Edge. I'd like to hear how you found your way into Beep Baseball. How do you end up in this world?
I started playing. Well, I guess you could say I found my way. I went to a convention in Austin. It was a DARS convention that they was having, and we had went and stayed at a hotel, and I actually ended up beating Michael Garrett. He told me about it, but I'm pretty independent. I don't really just when he told me about it, I didn't just really hear it the way he was saying it, because all I heard him was saying, yeah, come play blind baseball. And all I heard was, yeah, they probably going to be holding your hands, going whatnot. And, I didn't really just know how to, take it in. So I didn't end up going. And I actually ended up going to another event where I met Blake, and he actually told me to do it as well. And I still didn't do it. It took me to about the third time where I finally went out to practice, and I was like, man, this game is fun. And I was hooked from there. And I started in 2011.
I can relate to that a little bit. Just for clarity for the audience, Michael Garrett, who is a former president of the NBBA, and he doesn't play now, I don't believe, but he a former player, and then also Blake Boudreau, who's our current president of NBBA, was the other reference. But where I was saying I can relate, the first time I heard about beep baseball, I was like a freshman in high school, and I'd been blind for like 2-3 years, and before that I played other sports and whatever. But my mom comes in, she's like, hey, on TV there are people playing blind baseball, and I was like, that's stupid. I didn't even get up and leave my room. I played baseball, and I'm picturing the regular, sided baseball being played just with a beeping ball. I'm like, there's no way they're running bases, throwing the ball to first base, all that stuff. That's just stupid. Why would they do that? So I literally didn't even learn anything about it. And then 3 years later, when I was a senior in high school, a group of players that included a couple Hall of Fame worthy players, and Kimmy and Slick, James Slick Watts, twin brothers that played for the East Bay Blaze. They came to Sacramento with a group of people, and that's where I really learned about the World Series and stuff. So I could totally relate to you as far as not getting sucked in right away.
You're a high partial, right?
Yeah,
right?
I'm pretty high partial. I see. Okay, small print is my kryptonite.
What?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I realized that my question that I was going to throw out there might be for Joe, and actually not Jacory, so that's why I said go ahead.
All right. Just real quick, Jacory. I mean, how did you lose your sight? I've heard. I mean, obviously, you and I have played for many years. I was on the team when you were a rookie in 2011, so I know. But you have one of the more interesting stories, I think, of how you lost your sight. Will you regale us with the tragic story of your blinding? Hopefully you won't cry as you tell the story.
Oh, man.
Ironically, that was you and I were trying to ask the same question. That's why I was going to ask also. Go ahead, Jacory.
I went visually impaired when I was 5 years old, so 1996 for me. My mom had told me and my uncle that we had to clean up before we could eat dinner, and we was cleaning up the room, and my uncle was like, you wanna just hide the rest of the the little knickknacks and things away? And I, me being a kid, I had no problem with that. So we hiding little toys and little excess things on top of the closet, and I look back, and my uncle was throwing a picture frame on top of the closet, and it shattered. And I was looking up at the glass, and it came down, and it cut my right eye. So pretty much my iris, my cornea was gone off the back. That was gone. So I was blind in my right eye immediately. And then I developed a rare eye disease called sympathetic ophthalmia, where my immune system doesn't view my left eye as a part of the body. So it tries to attack it,
Yeah, I don't know a lot about that stuff medically, but I do remember when people have problems with one eye, it can affect the other eye, even though it's not directly involved, right?
Yeah, trauma. It was my whole case was trauma based. I wouldn't even be visually impaired if the glass would have never cut my eye. So that's how playing for everybody. It wasn't genetic. It was trauma based. So needless to say, when glass get broke, I'm pretty timid.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Beepball wise, you've recently made the move from Bayou City Heat to the Indy Edge. The Indy Edge is a team that has my attention. I just like the group of players that you guys are throwing together with Nick Mulheron and Mark Morris. You're throwing you in there. Now you're bringing Joe Fleeks over with you guys. You guys are throwing together. Oh, and this. Young dude, Aaron C. Man, I had him on the show before. I know he towards the end of this Indy Invitational, he struggled a bit towards the end of the tournament, but he was showing he's got some stuff made up of him. Tell me about playing with this new team, the Edge, and what you guys got going on.
Hey, our squad is something to be looked out for, because we got a lot of good pieces that we put together, and we got a lot of good pieces that done seen a lot of good beat baseball played. You ain't even mention like Ethan and stuff like that.
Right? Yeah.
So if you look up and down the line, it's a lot of good beat ball players on our team, and Aaron, the sky's the limit for that dude, man, because the guy don't even know really just what he has in himself. Like the dude is gonna be a stud, man, because I was once in that position. It's hard when you first get into the game, and especially coming from like he was sighted as well. So when you take away that sight and you step into the blindfold part of the game, like once you work your way into that aspect of it, everything is, you can't go no further than up. He experienced his ups when he was banging, and he experienced his downs when he was striking out. So those are just the aspects of the game that that come with it, and he learned that. He felt what it was. He was in a big game, and he learned what it was. That's all you could say about that. And he know what it is that he needs to do next time when he step up there. So I feel like he's gonna be ready.
I remember telling him that compared to other like first year players, he kind of has an advantage because all the other first year players around the United States right now, they're really not getting a chance to play in tournaments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here he got to play in a tournament with some really good teams already, and before the season's up, he's going to get some more games in. So he's getting some valuable experience that other young players aren't going to get this year, which will help your whole team next year.
Yeah,
I think
more importantly, it's versus good teams. You in the area where you get to see the defending champions on a regular basis. You get scrimmage against these dudes anytime. Or you got Chicago right down the street. It's a lot of good beepball teams that's right in that area as well. So he gonna see a lot of beat baseball. Not to mention you're on the team that that sees a lot of tournament. Like it's a lot different, when the only time that you get to see action is when you show up at the World Series. You know what I'm saying? So,
no, that was almost my entire career, because after from like 87 to 93, there was a lot of beepball played here in Northern California, but after that, it was not entirely just our West Coast Dog team, but nearly just our team. So I know exactly what I spent the majority of my career just practicing for the World Series. When I look at like the situation the Texas teams are in, the Indiana teams are in, the amount of games they get to play, I have no idea what that's like. You know what I mean? That's a great situation to be in.
Found out.
Dude, Jacory, man, you know what? It's funny because you talked, Jacory, about being kind of fairly sighted and trying to make that adjustment to playing under the blindfold, right? And I was there with you every step of the way, and it took you a while, right? You struggled on that. I don't know if people have you on video or whatever, but you are an athletic specimen. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
you are in the league, like you are an athletic beast, right? But it did take you a while to like pull it together, right? I think the first, I mean, I can't remember the first time you made the all tournament team, but it took you a while to pull it together. What was that process like, man? What is that process of going from somebody who is a high partial or a lot of sight to actually functioning at a high level with no sight? You know, yeah. I mean, what's the? I mean,
like
obviously,
what helped you turn that corner?
yeah. I mean, what happened? Where was that process at?
Okay, I would say it was, it was different. It was different coming along, because for years I was a person who depended on my sight a lot. I didn't believe in, walking with canes. I always for years I always felt like I was judged by the cane, or judged by anything that made me look visually impaired. So I really stayed away from things like that. So once I worked my way past that, I understood, I'm visually impaired. When I wake up, I'm be visually impaired. When I go to sleep, I'm be visually impaired. So it's no point in really just caring what other outside people who don't understand the shoes that I'm walking in, what they talking about. So I got past that. But as far as coming into the game, that was different. That was different because, like I said, I was high dependent on my sight. So when I came, you put that blindfold down, everybody's on the same playing field. And it's just like something that I had to like just I guess work my way into being comfortable with. And we wasn't really just playing a lot. We was always practice. We was practice. And the only time we got to go play is the World Series. And, and when I got on the team, Bujo always said, he was like, y'all ain't, y'all rookies don't just come, looking to play. And when I came to the World Series, I wasn't just looking to play, because he already had told us we ain't gonna play, but I actually ended up getting put in my first game against the Southwest Slammers. And, I struck out my first time because I was swinging. And my whole thing was I was swinging at the ball. Like I would hit a ball coming, and I'd be like, there it is, and I'll try to swing at it. So I wasn't following the rules of listen to the pitcher's cadence and just swing. Because it was like I really just didn't know all the aspects, the ins and outs of the game at the time, So I felt like if I would have been force-fed into the game a lot more, I would have been way further along, but over the years, I always say there's two people that helped me, develop into the person, that I am. And that was Seth and that was John Parker. Cause they always like work with me. John Parker always worked with me on defense and things like that. And then Seth always worked with me on my hitting and things like that. So put those two together, and man, you got a player, man. And Seth was there for my moment, man. Freaking John Parker. This was when I knew that I was ready to really just ball out and play. Like we was in the game versus San Antonio, and we was going in, and I think Dave Benny was up to bat, and well, first off, John gave me. I wanna say this. John gave me my start in that game because he came and he asked me. He was like, "I want you to play short right. You think you could do that for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm down. If you let me play, I won't let you down." And then JC came up. He was like, "John wants you to start in the game. Don't mess it up." And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I ain't gonna mess up. John got me to start, man.
No pressure.
You know, no pressure at all. You know, I'm just not going. I'm not to try not to go out there and mess it up. You know, so
right. And hold on, just if I remember correctly, this is a Friday game when we've already had one loss, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. Go ahead.
So we out there, and he like, all right, don't mess it up. So he's spotting on my side, and I think it was Dave Benny up the bat, and Dave hit it. It was a good hit too, and all I hear JC say 4, and I shifted, and I laid out. Dude barely got up the box, stone, and like all I do is get up, and I hear JC come behind me. He was like, "They gonna tape you. Don't get rattled." And I was like, "What? They're about to tape me?" And man, we went over there, and all you hear is like my bench, Seth over there going crazy. Seth over there on the bench, man, going crazy, man. My bench going crazy. It was just like such a good moment. And like after they got done taping it, I was like, man.
They did tape you just because you made the one play?
Yeah, they taped me. Kevin wanted me taped, so I ended up getting taped, and he
might
was
be
like,
might be the first time anybody got taped for putting DB out. The guy hits the ball like 80 feet.
Hey, I guess it was the manner in which it happened. It was quick. Like dude hit it, I laid out for it. It was over. It was like bang, bang. Dude barely stepped out the box. So they ended up taping me. I came back into the game, and I was like, man, I hope I get another chance at this ball, you know. Right. And the second batter hit the ball. Blake ended up getting a put out, and I was like, man, I know Kevin know how to place that ball, man. I hope he come back at me. And he ended up hitting one down the first baseline. All I hear JC call it 1. Man, I cut that ball off. I took the angle back. It was a long angle too. And I laid out for it. Boom, stoned him. Put him out. Man, the whole bench went crazy. Like that was like the best moment of my career. And like Kevin came over and he was like, man, if you could play defense like that, why haven't you been out there? And I just looked at him with the mindfold on. And I was like, the skills are real. And I just walked.
Very nice. I'm sure that was a very satisfying moment for you.
It was a satisfying moment.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in the end, that when I look back at my career, that's one of the great moments in my career as well, right? Because coming at it from my perspective, I'm really pissed off about, or I'm fed up with this kind of patching wars that we go through, where we retaliate against people. Yeah, you know, now everybody, you know, anytime somebody makes a play, oh, you're cheating. I don't like that, right? A different team actually patched Jacory the first game of the tournament, right? And he played well. He played fine, right? And when that came up, when Kevin came out and stopped the game and was going to patch him, it pissed me off so much, right? Because Kevin knows Jacory. Okay, and Kevin has seen Jacory work his ass off, right? And I didn't think it was right that once he sees Jacory finally come up to a certain standard, that he's going to call Jacory out for cheating, right? And again, it was something that has always bothered me, and so I literally go crazy, right? Before that happened, they were beating us. It was a ho-hum game. We were the better team, but we were playing down to them, and we were just didn't have any emotion. We had no emotion. We were flat, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened, right, I just lost my mind. Right? I'm walking up and down in front of the bench, just, you know, not cussing, but you know me, Neil Dog. I mean,
none of this has to be explained to me.
Yeah, right. I have lived
this with Said Dog many times.
I'm up and down the base. I'm walking out onto the field. I mean, it takes like 15 minutes, and I am just, and as I'm doing it, the team is getting more riled up and more riled up and more riled up. The bench is just, and the bench is starting to feed off of my anger. Right, and so the bench is like at a boiling point by the time the game starts, right? And so when Jacory made that put out, and it was just a total change in the momentum shift, right? From that point on, the game was over because we just exploded. The game was, and I looked at that as one of the 2 times in my career that my emotions has led to a complete change in the game where victory was, came out of it. Of course, Jacory made the play. Right. I mean, I'm not saying it's all we, everything is all we, you know what I'm saying? In any team sport, we all do it together. But, when I look back at that, Jacory, also think of that as like one of my most favorite moments in my entire beepball career, and the fact that it was you, right? That because who you are, made it so much more important to me because I'd always had a affection for you, right? When you came as a rookie, people don't know, right? I mean, Jacory's a rookie in 2011. We're in Indianapolis. I got 3 kids: 6-year-old, 2-year-old, 6-month-old, right? We have 8 o'clock games, so we got to be out at the field at 6:30. And I'm like, man, Jacory, and Jason Walters, right? I'm like, man, rookie, man, can I pay you guys like $5 a day to go to Starbucks and pick up my food and bring it to me in my room at 6:15? They were like, oh yeah, man. So the rookies would bring me my food at 6:15 every morning, man, and it was great, man. And
they're rookies. Why are you paying them? They're rookies. Tell them to do it.
Because I believe in fairness. I believe in fairness.
Abe Lincoln with the smile on my face.
Yeah, right. I believe in fairness, but from that moment, man, I always loved Jacory, man. And so that moment, man, in Georgia, I think we were. That was great, man. That was a great moment, obviously.
Hey, Jacory, before we bring Joe in and get to know him a little bit, I want to ask you about this children's book you've authored. For like 10 years, I've had an idea of a children's book that I wanted to do. And I've, from time to time, pulled it out and I'd add little notes to it and ideas or whatever. But the bottom line for me is, like, growing up, I wasn't a reader. And so I didn't read children's books. And then I lost my eyesight when I was almost 11. So it's not like it's easy for me to go back now and look at children's books. So I have an idea for a children's book, and I got no idea how to put together a children's book. So I'd love to hear your story, man. Tell me about authoring a children's book and get it put out there.
Well, I always, like Seth said, I'm a speaker as well. So I was looking for different avenues to be able to get my content out, besides like social media and blogging and things like that. And I also want to be able to have people physically, touch my words and things like that. So this also became a extra way for me to be able to reach others. So it just so happened to come in the form of a children's book. But I always like to say, you don't have to be a child to receive a message. As long as you read the words, you identify with the words, and hear them, you accept them. That message can come in any way, shape, or form. So
totally agree.
I have adults that read my children's book and love it. But it's called Vision a Dream, and it's actually about a young boy who wants to play baseball, but was never given that opportunity. He partially blind as well, but he never was given that opportunity because the coaches doesn't want that hassle, So that was pretty much a synopsis of it. So that was the way that I could get my message out. So when I think about doing any of my books, because I'm about to get ready to release my second and third book here pretty soon. So when I think about doing a book, it's all about, you know, you gotta have that idea of where you trying to go. And then when you're doing a children's book, you want to try to make it clear, because with the words that you write, the pictures are going to have to go with it. So you don't want to have your words saying one thing and the pictures describing something else. So you want to make sure, you know, it's going to look, you know, it's going to look good when the illustrate.
Just putting it all together.
I was about to sneeze. When the illustrations get put together, you know, you want to go together well. So that's pretty much.
Since you're a partial, did you have a lot to do with the pictures that, like, you know, the art that's in there? How did you work all that out?
Yeah, I actually, the person who was creating my illustrations, I gave them a direction to head in, and then she would send me a picture, and I say what revisions I like to be done to it. Maybe I like this added. I would like this to look a little more realistic. And, you know, as long as you got your nice little set of eyes around, you know, I always don't trust myself, because, you know, it might be something I'm missing. So, you know, I the extra set of eyes that's looking in, you know.
Get all the details.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Seth, do you have anything?
And he has a great extra set of eyes. I don't know if he used Ashley or not, but I just point Ashley out because she was at one point one of our spotters on the Heat, and she was dynamite. I mean, she was dynamite.
We held that left side down.
She was hella good. So
I'm guessing Ashley is a little special something in your life.
Yeah, that's my baby.
All right. Very nice.
She had to leave our team because she's a professional woman, but she was a great spotter.
She out there in the working world.
As far as I'm concerned, that's the best kind of woman we can find.
Working woman.
At least a lazy man like me, that's what I say anyway. I guess I'll just keep it on myself. So before we bring Joseph in here and get to know him a little bit, tell people where they can find your book.
You can find it on Amazon, Amazon.com.
All right.
I'm actually Amazon Kindle. I'm actually about to get ready to recreate a website, because I found a new. I always believe in being able to better your work. You know, don't settle. You know, once you do something, you know, you could always better it. So I found the best way to create them through hard copies with the sleeves and just have them looking all glossy and nice. So I'm about to get ready to release a better version. So I'm about to actually be getting ready to release a website here soon. So I just want everybody to be on the lookout for that. So, but until then, Amazon.com, Kindle. Yes, sir.
And say the title again. Vision to Live. Is that what you said? Say the title one more time.
Vision to Dream.
Oh, Vision to Dream. All right. Sorry about that.
Yes, sir.
Vision to Dream. All right.
Go ahead, Seth. And we do hope that you become a very famous author, because I have an autographed copy of that book. So
hey,
I would hope to resell it at some point.
Hey, see, that's why we talking now. See, you got that autograph copy, so you're gonna have to get the new, you know, revised version. You know,
I want you to hit it big, because I need a sponsor for the show. So
right on. Hey, Beepball Blues. We're about to take it to the next level.
There you go, baby. All right. Well, man, I've really enjoyed getting to know you a bit, Jacory. Man, I appreciate you coming on today.
Right on. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. If you could pass us on to Mr. Joseph Fleeks, we could spend a few minutes.
Yeah, he right here.
spend a few minutes getting to know Joe. Seth was telling me earlier that this man used to play quarterback before he lost his eyesight. Yeah. Big old dude. What are you, about 6'4", Joe? Is that what I hear?
Nah, 6'3".
All right. Well, I'm 5.
Hey, you know, man.
Hey, 6'3", 175, right, Joseph Fleeks?
Brother, I wish. I'm 238. You know.
Yeah. Hey, Neil asked me, was he a running quarterback? Like, man, the dude's like 6'4", man, 240. I hope he was a running quarterback.
Oh yeah, I was able to move, most definitely.
But I told him you had a gun, man. Joseph Fleeks got a gun, man. Joseph Fleeks got a gun. You know?
Cannon for days.
Tell us about yourself, Joseph. How did you lose your eyesight? How did you find your way to Beepball?
All right. I lost my sight in 2006 when I was 16. I was actually going into my senior year of high school. So I decided to go out, with a newly required member because my mother was just going into a new marriage and just trying to make a bond with was going to be my cousin and a couple of friends and decided to go out to this little teen club that's kind of popular around the city. And I guess for that night, it was just the wrong place, wrong time for me. Because at the end of that night, I ended up enjoying myself, had a good night, dance and everything. But by the end of the night, I ended up on the concrete with a shotgun. And I blasted to the face. And it did damage to my optic nerve. And that started my whole, blind career. In January 19th of 2006. It's been 14 years now.
Hold on, what day?
Yeah, your birthday.
Yeah. Nah, it wasn't my birthday, bro.
Seth's birthday.
Seth's birthday, January 19th, 2006. I'll never forget
that hit me also. I'm like, what day did he say?
In 2006 was a wild year for me, Joe. I'll tell you about it one year, but wild medical year for me. but go ahead, Joe. How long between that and you started,
how'd that lead you to Beepball?
Yeah. Well, so I ended up getting involved with DARS out here, and
what's that?
I ended up getting involved with DARS, which is it was the rehabilitation service at the time in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Now it's called TWC, which is Texas Workforce Commission. They help us with a lot of resources, work, school, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And so I got involved with them, and they sent me to a camp where I met Greg Roberts. He actually ended up being like my counselor or what you call it, man. So he told me about the game, but me at the time, I just wasn't hearing it. My anger was still too fresh because I just lost football scholarships. My whole plan for my life was to play football, because I've been playing football since I was 5 years old. So,
gotcha.
That was your dream. What I was.
Yeah.
So now I was really good at it, and I worked at it, and I had things put in place to go, and just it was something else happened that was meant for it. But at the time, I wasn't perceiving it in that way. So I wasn't trying to really hear that when he told me about the game.
Yeah.
And then later on, this was around still same year in 2006, I went to the School for the Blind in Austin, Texas, and ended up becoming friends with Brendan Chester.
Okay.
And because Brandon was also a former football player as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah, he played football in high school as well. So, Brandon knew I still was competitive and still wanted to play. But, as he became more of my friend, he saw that I still had a lot of, anger in me, towards what was going on. But he still tried to bring me out to the Blackhawks. And, I practiced with him. I got to bat out for Kevin. like Kevin enjoyed me because I had power game and whatnot. Defense was trash at the time. Like I too aggressive, just trying to chase the ball like a a crazy dog. Just
that's the hardest part, I think, for everybody to learn. That's the most difficult part of beepball is learning how to play good defense.
It's hard for us tall players to play good defense.
Yeah, I was going to point that out when he said he had trouble. Like I always really stress that, and anybody who teaches defense properly stresses that you need to be low to the ground. The ball's a 1 pound ball. It's on the ground most of the time, and if you're going to track a ball on the ground, you need to be low to the ground. And fellas like you, 6'5", 6'4", 6'3", that get low to the ground. It's not easy. I'm 5'11". It was hard for me to get low.
Right on. But even then, I still didn't take though. I enjoyed practicing with them, but I still wasn't ready. Lupe even tried back when he was with the West Coast Dogs. I wasn't believing him. Like there's so many people that tried. I wasn't ready. That's just all in 2006, 2007, and it took for me to really grow as a blind individual. Realize that I still who I am. Only thing that just so happened I just lost my sight, but not my vision to live and and go further. So. I got back into school, moved back home to Houston, got back involved with DARS, and that's when they told me about Blake. And, I got in contact with Blake and was just like, I know about beep baseball and, I want to play. And they told me to come out, to the Houston practice. And it just so happened Michael Garrett was there. And the funny thing about that is his daughter and my mother has been longtime friends for like years. Wow. So, I was very comfortable once I saw Michael Garrett there. And so, once that happened, I was like, hey, it's game on. It's time to play. I've been with them for 2012.
It's a trip what a small world it is sometimes. Like, the connections, people kind of overlapping with each other.
Yeah.
No, especially in the blind community and stuff like that.
Yeah. Definitely. But I mean, in this case, like he hadn't even his mom and Michael Garrett's sister knowing each other. Like that's not a blind community connection. I guess technically it is now because Joe's blind and Michael's blind. But it doesn't sound like their connection that wasn't anything to do with the blind community.
Right, it had nothing to do with that. Right.
Yeah,
it just happened to be a connection.
So man, like your teammate Jacory, you've been with the Bayou City Heat for quite a while. Now you're joining the Indy Edge. What are your thoughts on joining such a young, a really well-rounded team that's got a lot of upside, man? What are your thoughts?
Man, the sky's the limit for us right now. High potential. That was one of the reasons why I came over to the squad.
Is this a permanent switch or a non-permanent switch?
We here, baby. This it.
Okay, all right.
Way to put them on the line, Seth.
I'll try. I asked the cutting questions.
Yeah, we shooting for this dynasty. You know what I mean?
All right.
Because we got the chance to taste the championship. Back in 2018, and that taste has not left our mouth since, and it's only grown more. And we've only just putting ourselves in position to get back and to be more competitive when we're there. So that's just what we're about. Because we just me and my boy, we love this game to the fullest. Like it's just we can't help it. It's just part of us now. So we're gonna do everything in our power. With people around us, and just the players, the team that we with now, just man, it's so much that we can do with this now.
Yeah. Well, I wish you guys luck, man. Go ahead, sir.
No, I won't. I was gonna make a joke, as I tend to do, just about what you got. Joe and Neil have some commonalities as players, that injury prone label, man. So Joe has been through some tough times, man.
That was my problem for a good little while in Houston, because that's what you know, everybody kept telling me like, man, Joe, this is gonna be your year. And like, you know, get to Tuesday, I have a good day. Come Wednesday or something, next thing you know, I either separated my shoulder or, you know, in the Taiwan game, had a bad hip fracture.
I was wondering where Seth was going with comparing us, but I guess he's talking the injuries.
Injury prone.
I was injury prone for a good start of my career, but it seemed to be doing very well because I've been taking good care of myself. Been in different workouts. You know, I added yoga to my lifestyle. So
cool.
I've been doing very well. You know, now I have more time on my hands since I don't have school anymore. So, you know.
Yeah. Right.
I have nothing to do but train right now until I find a job.
So you graduated. You're done.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, congratulations.
Appreciate
Always
it.
like to see a brother getting that college degree.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Same. Honestly, same for those in the blind community. I always like to see. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I feel like everybody in the blind community, as far as like the whole job world goes, we're on a kind of a step behind. You know, we start at least a step behind. So adding in that college education, man, congratulations. Good for you. What's your degree in?
Psychology.
Oh, that's my thing. I didn't finish, but that was my that was my thing, man. I guess I can't say it is my thing, but that would have been my thing.
It's funny because I didn't really know that was going to be my thing. I was actually running from something else, so I ended up choosing psychology and ended up falling in love with that. And man, now it's like sky's the limit with this field that I can do. So, you know, I'm just gonna build with it.
Oh, very good, man. I wish you luck. Congratulations on the degree again.
And both Joe, Jacory, I mean, you guys know I love both of you guys, man, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. You know, normally I wish, you know, bad things on my competitors, but you guys,
you know we love you, Bam Bam, baby.
Yeah, you know, you guys have worked hard, man, and I do hope you guys have the success that you guys deserve, and I hope you guys knock off the Thunder, man. You guys seem to be in a good position to do that. So, you know, we're pulling for the underdogs. We all are pulling for the underdogs. Love you too, Darnell Booker, but we're all pulling for the underdogs.
Hey, Seth, you know, we always just want to make you proud, man. You know, Seth always, you know, at the end of every tournament, we'll have that
one talk at the end of the
talk.
tournament. Yep,
talk. No, we're not going to go anywhere without you guys taking that next step.
You guys got to take the next step. You know, Joe, you got to become more consistent with the swing.
That's what I said. Hey, every Saturday night, man, we get to it, bro. It's like, hey, y'all, we got to go have this conversation yet again, man, because I don't know if we all got it yet. So we got to have this conversation, man. But you guys got it, man. You guys got it, man.
We came a long way, man. For real, though. If it wasn't, I'd say that again, man. If it wasn't for you and John, man, y'all built.
Y'all really helped a lot,
man. Y'all helped a lot. So
big shout out. Big shout out, John Parker. What up, Johnny?
Yeah,
I have to. That's somebody I gotta have on the show at some point. You know, I like to bring players who are. Even though he's still involved now, players that were around back in the day, not to mention, I mean, Parker's one of the best offensive players that has ever played the game of beep baseball. So,
he'll tell you he's the best player ever to play the game. We've discussed this. We've discussed this. Not that John Parker is an arrogant individual, but we have discussed his comparing him to Eric.
Well,
I'm not saying. You guys know what side of the argument
we can have a conversation offensively, and it stops there. In my opinion, and I'm not even clowning Parker as a defensive player. He was a good defensive player, but there's nobody in Eric's category, in my opinion. Maybe Ray Marshall, but even Ray Marshall didn't have it longevity-wise like Eric did, and they played in a different era or whatever. But as far as there's no player that's done what Eric did. Yeah, Eric Rodriguez is certainly on a path to maybe match it. But outside of that, man, I personally won't allow anybody else in that argument.
The only thing where John Parker, I think, is coming from, and then we'll close because I got to jump. Is once Eric made the switch over to the Kansas defense, which, like we discussed, that defensive wise a long time ago is very different, and what it calls for the players is very different. And so he always said that Eric didn't play well, or he didn't say Eric didn't play well, right? He said that Eric wasn't the how great Eric was in the West Coast offense, he wasn't as great in the Kansas
defense.
That's what I'm saying. All defense. And to me, it makes sense because they are different styles of defense, calling for the players to do different things. And Eric played a certain style for his entire 15 years. And then switched.
My response to that, just having been involved in the game when Eric went to Kansas, like, for one, even though Kansas played well, I didn't think they played Eric correctly. I mean, why bring on the best shortstop that ever played our game and not stick him at shortstop and let him just do his thing? I didn't understand. But they were good, and they were making championships. Right. When they won in 2007, Eric was back playing shortstop. So, I mean, they can make all the arguments they want about what Eric could or couldn't do in the Kansas defense. When they played him correctly, they managed to win a championship. So, period.
Eric's the greatest player ever. I mean, John and I we've discussed it and debated it. We've never agreed on an outcome. But I love you, John Parker. You know that.
Parker's Parker's a great player. I'm not taking anything away from Parker.
Shit, he's injury prone. He's as injury prone as you as Joseph Fleeks, but he keeps playing. He didn't have to sit out, man.
That's all right.
Was that an attack? I'm sorry. My mom asked me not to make any unnecessary attacks.
Unnecessary attack. I appreciate that. I haven't. I've wanted to ask. I just haven't yet.
All right. Okay.
Speaking of your mom, we got to get you to your mom's birthday party.
Yeah, she's gonna be mad.
Happy birthday, please. Happy birthday to Pendry Clark, one of everybody's favorite parents that comes out to the World Series. How anybody cannot love Joel and Pendry Clark, I don't know, but I love them to death. Right. So happy birthday,
tell your dad
Penny.
I said, hey, sir.
Yeah, real talk to say hello.
Yep, I will do so. All right, you guys, man. It was great having you guys on the show. I can't wait to talk to you and follow you guys as you go forward in your career on the Indy Edge. Man.
Appreciate y'all. We appreciate being here with y'all guys.
I appreciate getting a chance to meet you. Joseph, I'll send you a friend request, dude, now that we're, now we got it like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hopefully you don't hit cancel.
Denied.
All right, fellas, I wish you the best of luck going forward, man. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you, Neil. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody else, we will be back next week. And good night, Aunt Cindy.
Good night.